How come? Why are we not doing it?
Again, it's leadership and political immaturity.
You were the Director General,
yes,
as we said earlier, of the West Africa Monetary Institute, yes, and you guys trying to create a new currency, the ECO.
Yes.
Did you ever envisage a coming together of all of West Africa as a political entity?
The fact is that if coming politically together meant free movement of the people, goods and services within the ECOWAS, it was at the heart of the financial integration, monetary integration. That's what we're looking out for. We believe that with common currency, we will trade more amongst ourselves than to trade with the emerging partners.
What will you be selling to each other? Soup and
pepper
and salt? If you're not producing anything.
No, the point here is that you don't develop this trade overnight.
Yeah.
It is evolutionary. And then you make use of what you have, a common policy, and prevent what we see now as dumping.
Because what I'm thinking in that regard is I'm thinking that if a China, a Brazil, or whatever country is coming, as I said earlier, they are made to process a good percentage of what they're taking out. So if Nigeria is endowed with oil, and Ghana is endowed with, say, gold, then we'll be selling processed materials across countries that way.
Yeah.
But the way it is now, neither of these countries is producing anything.
Well,
so even if you have, and I'm exaggerating when I say they're not producing anything, but then when they come together as a regional bloc, now as you know, there is only about, Africa only has about 10% of all of its trade, amongst each other.
Actually 7.5%.
See, that's even worse than I thought.
Yes.
And that compares very unfavorably with the United States, with North America, with Europe, where they have upwards of 50%. In some places, even 60-something%.
Yeah.
So that means the reason for that happening is that we don't have things to sell to each other. So even if you have the ECO, how would they sell?
Well, let me correct one mistake people usually make about intra-regional trade.
Yeah.
The recorded trade may be less than 10%.
Okay.
But the informal trade within the sub-region is definitely above 30%. Definitely above that.
Agree.
Okay?
I would agree with
definitely
that.
above that.
Yes.
But the issue about processing our natural resources by our emerging partners locally is a very strong point which our country should advocate for.
Absolutely.
And I believe the Chinese are doing that by building petrochemical and refineries in Nigeria. I don't know if the projects have taken off, but I know they have pledged to do so. If they can bring it to fruition, then that would be very wonderful.
What I see, what it seems to me that is happening, and I need your input in this, especially as far as to clarifying it, is that it would seem to me that the Chinese are setting up a situation where you would have a relationship with them that is comprehensive in nature. I am your preferred partner.
Yeah.
When it comes to providing loans, and when it comes to providing products that you need to use in your households, when it comes to even investments, I won't ask any questions. I'm the one-stop shop. Just come to me and go nowhere else. That's sort of the picture that I see. And when you see things like that, is there a catch somewhere?
Indeed, it's a good picture you've painted. Yeah. There's no question about it. The question is, how is the trade between the African countries and the emerging partners, be it China or Brazil or India, how is it financed? They have three special vehicles. Their Exim banks provide soft loan. Your first question is, can't we have a hands-off relationship? You buy what you want to buy from whoever you want to buy. This would be in the best of all worlds, where African countries have the resources to do so. In most of our countries, our foreign reserves are so minuscule that if we depend on our foreign reserve to buy things for our people, we will wait for a very long time. But if you have a partner who will say, don't worry, our Exim Bank is going to finance it at the concessional rate. Then you are more or less hooked to that partner who is willing to give you this concession. So the Exim banks are more aggressive. And when they give, they do not tie the loan like our traditional partners. Our traditional partners tie the loans. Yeah. So African countries have more policy space to play with because the Exim banks of emerging partners do not say that we are going to give you the loan, but you must do A, B, C in terms of governance or in terms of democracy or what have you. Secondly, most of the emerging partners also use natural resources as a collateral for what you buy from them. Yeah. Say Nigeria. They will say, okay, you don't have the money. We know you don't have the money, but you have oil. We will give you the manufactured products.
Now then
and then you give us oil in return.
But I'll tell you, in Africa, I know people talk about India also in trade. But I think what people are really looking at now is China.
I agree with you.
Yeah, because first they built that $200 million facility, AU building, in Addis Ababa. And they seem to be all over the place. And they seem to be the ones very aggressively financing the trade.
Yes.
And then I wonder from there, if you round that up, then bring into the governance issues. This financing that's taking place, is this so that they will have control over the political structures and overall governance in Africa?
Again, this is the fear people have expressed. It suits their purpose to bring their Exim Bank to do the financing. And then the third mix of financing is the combination of concessional and commercial rate, which they do from time to time. But we shouldn't lose sight about the impending debt burden, debt sustainability. When these concessional loans are taken and they say it's for 10 years, 20 years, the thinking is that 10 years or 20 years will never come by. But before you know it, it creep on you. Right. And we revert to the old ways. But the traditional partners, they almost the same thing. Okay? So nobody wants to have a stranglehold on any country. As I said earlier, it is left to the policymakers of a country to know when to stop and when not to stop. In terms of governance, the issue is whether emerging partners have any role to play in the increase of corruption or weakness of the regulatory framework in the African country. To me, I cannot blame the weakness of the regulatory regime, agencies in Nigeria, on China. I can't say because we are trading with China, therefore NITI or NMPC, for that matter, should not do what it's supposed to do, or EFCC should not do what it's supposed to do.
But I want to now look at security issues. Africa, we have stories of conflicts here and there, and I see Europe, I see the United States getting involved in security issues, making sure that we have calm people coming. Are the Chinese interested in this, or they can just continue trading under the noise of war and conflict?
Well, if you look at the areas the Chinese are interested, extractive industry, and it is mostly countries that are endowed with natural resources that have this conflict you are talking about. In terms of security, I don't see our emerging partners coming to defend our border against Al-Qaeda of this world.
No, but we see them getting involved in solutions in the Congo, in Somalia.
They will provide arms.
Assistance, whatever kind. But is that coming also? My question is, if you're China, can you continue to come to pick up the natural resources in the midst of the conflict that's going on?
Oh, they are doing that, as we can say.
But they don't. I've never seen many Chinese development agencies and others looking to try to look at other areas for development and for lessening of conflict.
No, actually, the Chinese and the emerging partners have been giving us ODA, official development assistance.
For what? For like what?
Oh, they give you a free policy space.
So that is the problem.
They don't tie it to anything. Okay,
it's not a problem because then the people don't know what the money is for.
Well, we believe we have a representative government.
Okay.
And when the money is given to our representative government, they should utilize it wisely.
Okay.
And to me, for the Chinese and other emerging partners, is the wisest thing to do. There's no need for somebody to stay 10,000 kilometers to tell me how to spend the money you have given to us. Tide aids have not been doing us good in Africa. Most of the time, tide aids usually go back to the donor in one way or the other.
Is there fear, or should there be fear on the part of the masses in Africa, that because you have this loose space in which this operation is taking place, where the Chinese are dealing with our leaders instead of an on-tide situation, we don't know what the things are for. Should there be concern that there could be an undermining of the intentions, for those kinds of assistance?
The tension is already brewing in the areas of unemployment. The closure of our textile factories, the battery factories, the shoe factories, even poultry, are creating massive unemployment. And when you see people, non-locals, engaging in construction, business, I believe you don't have to be told what is going on.
Well, you got your job cut out for you as a consultant to the United Nations Commission on Africa. You have a lot of work to do. I want to thank you very much, Dr. Nnanna.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Thank you.